Hi everybody, welcome along to the workbench of Sugar Radio. Hoping to get a workshop soon. What we're going to be doing today is making one of these. It's a shortcut keyboard emulator for RadioBoss. It may work on other software, I'm not sure. You would have to try it out yourselves. Why RadioBoss, you might say? Well, I've tried Playout 1, Sam, Virtual DJ, BMP Studio, Tractor, Oslabs, Mixpoya, which is something that the Beeb used to use. Absolute rubbish. And RadioBoss comes out the best. Not perfect, but it comes out the best. Okay, we get the show on the road. A few things you're going to need. We're building this unit up for less than £12. You will need some solder, clothes peg you might say, a couple of cable ties, some hookup wire. I'm using blue. Two colours you will require, blue and black. You will need some little switches like this that you can buy off eBay for about 50p a throw. You will need to order 10. The reason why I will give you later on. A little bit of flux, possibly. A little bit of sponge with a hole in the middle. A takeaway carton. Yeah. Which you're going to have to mark with a felt tip pen halfway up and then down to nothing, and then cut that to that shape so it's halfway up, down to nothing, both on both sides. I think I've just turned on the tumble dryer there. These things happen. And most of all, you will need, I've took the insides out on this one, a 4-button 2-axis joypad controller that you can buy for about £4. So the whole lot's going to cost you no more than £12. We'll start off with the peg. You need to make yourself a little gadget like that. Block of wood. Screwed the peg to the block of wood. It's so that you're able to hold what you're working with. Alrighty. The ends of these little switches are plastic, and if you leave your soldering iron on too long when you go to solder your wires on, it will melt the plastic and the switch may not work. So you take a little bit of sponge, drop it in water, and then poke that through there, so while you're soldering it keeps the heat away from the plastic. The reason why I said order 10 instead of 8, in case you go overboard with the soldering iron a little bit, you've got a couple spare. Okay, so that's the reason why that. I'll put that out of the way. With your wire, you need to cut 8 pieces of blue and 9 pieces of black, and strip the ends when you've done that and twist the wires together. With your joy controller board, when you've taken it out of here, you will be presented with something like this. You need to plug this into your PC USB slot, and then you will have to find the neutral that picks up all the lives from the 8 pickup points, and you do that by going to game controller, then game controller properties I think it is, and with a piece of hookup wire work round the board and find out which is the common for all the 8 switches. Then solder your common on as you go round, when you find them, it's a good idea just to put a little bit of felt tip pen on there, so you haven't got to go back and keep testing it. If you're struggling this area because you've got to solder this area, as you can see, this has got a bit of green lacquer on the top. With a Stanley knife or a modelling knife, gently scrape away the green lacquer. It'll give you a little bit more area to solder to. When you've done that, you will end up with something a little bit like this. Alrighty, I've actually just soldered one switch to the board. This pin here is actually the neutral, and that, if I was to solder the next one on to where I put the solder, which is there, you put the blue on there, you can actually twist the black together so all the 8 switches can have one common meeting point. Put a bit of tape around it, or whichever, heat shrink or whatever, so they don't short out. And actually, when you're soldering in the button case and the board case, once you have twisted and soldered the wire, which will be quite long like that, cut it back to about 2mm or 1mm, and when you solder onto the board, go in side action like that and just touch it with your iron, and that's job done. Cable clip goes round here, and eventually when all these are soldered on here, I'll put another cable clip through to hold all the wires. Alright, when you're checking this on the board with your gaming properties, note which button or which terminal goes to each button, because if you forget, you might have to go back to that. Not sure if I told you, you've got to cut this to a certain shape. Okay, when you've done that, you need to download something called Key to Joy. It's an emulator which allows you to configure keyboard keys or buttons. RadioBoss has 14 board shortcuts and 1 to 9 numbers, so you could have as many buttons on as you want, really. Okay, we're back to the board here. As you can see, the takeaway tub, cut it across there. It's a bit lower at the front. I've sprayed it black, put a sticky label on there. The cable for the USB comes out the back, and there inside you can see, on this board I used orange and black. You can see how that put a bit of tape on there. I mean, if you want, you can always, instead of using a cheap, well, a free box, put it on a metal panel, 19-inch rack panel, or whatever way you want to go. Show you how it works. We just go back to keyboard shortcuts and Key to Joy, which is software you download absolutely free. There is a nag screen, but if you get on with it really well, send the guy a £5 and it takes away the nag screen. When you're actually into Key to Joy, it's best to use bulk assignment. You might have to have a couple of 3 swings at it to get these to allocate themselves to the right keys, but I'm sure you'll be able to work that out. Total time build for one of these is probably about an hour and a half. It'll probably take you half an hour to get your head around Key to Joy. We'll start broadcaster on, and I'll give you a rough idea how it all works. We can pause the music, so you haven't got to press the key on the keyboard. We can start it again. As you can see, it's like brilliant, it's instant. Yeah, we can play the next track by pressing that button there. Yeah, we can pause it. I've got a couple of sound effects here. Oh no, I got that question wrong. And it actually continues to the next track. That's because we've got it in auto at the moment. Another sound effect. Oh, hang on, where's my cup of tea? Cheers, everybody. Okay, the music's there. We've got station ID.
And now, this is the mighty SR. Experience, style, sophistication,
And it actually plays the music, drops the music down in the background.
Hello world.
Hello world. I'll tell you all about her in the next video.
He's old.
Look, see how quick that is. And this is just a i3 processor, an old laptop of mine.
Acid fill my date. He's back. The dinosaur DJ is back with top tuning tunes.
Really? Okay, I'm going to press the playlist into manual now. So we're in manual, and when you're in manual, it plays the playlist but in manual mode. So to start the next track, you have to press play.
And now, this is
all right.
the SR experience.
It will stop
style,
at the end.
stereo sound. Just
the reason for that is, just supposing you've got guests in the studio and you want to have a good chin wag, you don't want the auto DJ working, otherwise you're being a little bit of a mess, so you can chat on until your heart's content. If you want to play the next track after your little chat, just press play. Look how quick that is. Alrighty. Absolutely brilliant. It's a must for RadioBoss. There is one other thing, I think we may have time. The young lady that you heard earlier on, she's a RadioBoss companion that you can set up within playlist, add text to speech. So if you go into that area on RadioBoss, you type in hello world in that case, or you can copy and paste the news or the weather, paste it into there, and your young lady companion will read out what you've copy and pasted into that particular box. Really good if you're a jock that works on your own and you need a change of voice and a companion. If we press the play button again,
this is the mighty SR.
Really? Put it back on auto GJ, play, job done. Pause it.
And now, this is the mighty
okay,
SR.
I think I've covered it all. If you're having trouble or don't understand something, by all means contact me, admin at sugarradio.uk, and I'll help you out the best I can. Gotta be worth a go. No more than 12 quid. Yeah, it's a little bit of fiddle, and it will certainly test your soldering skills. The next video that I'm going to be doing is an in-depth review of what's in RadioBoss, things that you may not know about that will help you out no end. So take care till the next time we meet. Bye.